So I'm back. So I want to make this video for the young people out there, um, the people 25 and under. I'm just gonna say the 25 and under club. And I want to give some relationship advice as somebody who's in their 30s or 30 now, about some mistakes that I've seen that young people make, both men and women, especially men, because we all make mistakes when we young. And I feel like there's some things that I have learned that I done been through. Of course, I didn't did what I was when I was younger, and some things that I have seen from young people, some mistakes that they make. Cause while I'm making this video, because I was talking to this girl, she believed 21 or I think she's 21 or 22. So of course she was telling me about her ex boyfriend and how she just got out of a relationship and how things was going and the stuff that he was doing. And it hit me hard because it reminded me of how I was when I was young, when I was 20, 21, 22, and the dumb stuff that I used to do, he was doing. And it made me think like, dang, like this is just a young thing, stuff that young men do, stuff that young people do. And then she was doing some stuff too that young women do, like how she was handling the situation. So it made me think to make this video to help like all the young people out there understand relationships, because it's the hardest when you young. You probably going through your first love. You got that puppy love, or like it's your first serious relationship. Like, it's hard for you to handle, and we all make mistakes. So I want to break it down for because there's differences, of course, with men and women. There's things that men do, that young men do, that ruin relationships, and then there's things that young women do that ruin relationships also. So I kind of want to break it down and then also give like a general statement that applies to both men and women under 25. So first for the men, the biggest mistake that men under 25 make that ends up hurting them is that they act too clingy, too possessive, start acting crazy, especially when the relationship is over. Whenever the relationship is over, like when you young, I didn't did it before, of course, like, you want to blow up her phone, check on her all the time, call her a bunch of times, be on her head, or even send like threatening messages, in your feelings messages, cussing her out, um, talking crazy and just doing a bunch of stuff because you in your feelings, like, you being emotional, you in your feelings because either the relationship is ending or she said, I need a break, or, like things are just going back. She's not answering the phone and, you feel her slipping away. So what men like to do is we action orientated. So when things start to fall, we feel like, okay, what can we do? Okay, I need to text them, or I need to call them, or I need to get reassurance. That's all it be, is that you want reassurance that the relationship not over, that she's not leaving you. And all that do is make things worse. That's the number one thing that young dudes do that drive women away, that ruin relationships, is how we start acting and reacting during a breakup and when a relationship is over, just making the situation first, because 9 times out of 10, if you want her back and you trying to get her back, all you doing is adding gasoline to the fire. Every time you irritating her, blowing her up, or if you is, some of us get in our feelings and start cussing her out, saying negative things, talking bad about her, doing all of the, petty stuff, young stuff. And all that do is give her more reason to leave you, and it adds, more fuel to the fire. I actually had a girl tell me that when I was young, like, you digging yourself a deeper grave, basically, by, blowing, by, doing too much, basically. You better off just being nonchalant, being laid back, like just letting it, just letting whatever happens happen, being mature in the situation. But I know that it's hard. It's easier said than done when you attached and your feelings involved and all of that. It's hard for you not to react. I get it. Trust me, I've been there. But I'm just trying to tell you that that's the worst. That's the worst thing that you can do, especially if you want to get her back. All you're gonna do is make things worse. So you're gonna have to You know, if you can listen, understand, try to restrain yourself, because I promise you, you will do better off. Because she'll start to wonder about you, like, dang, he not blowing up my phone. Oh, he not acting crazy. Dang, he's mature. Or even she might think that you got another girl, or she might think, like, did he really even love me or like me? Because, you know, sometimes women do them tests. Like they'll try to test break up with you or start an argument or do something just to see how you react to it. You know, there is women like that, especially young women that do that. So you got to, you know, you got to chill out. Sometimes, like I said, women say that they like that. You know, women want you to fight for them and act crazy a little bit. Like women can admit that that turn them on, but you got to know when to stop and to know the limit. Maybe, you know, like the first day in the beginning, show, um, you know, like show your interest is how much you want her and all of that type of stuff. But you gotta slow down. Like, you know, like after the first day, like you can't be blowing her up every day, 100 messages. Just say what you gotta say how you feel. If you want to get her back, try to at least be kind of, you know, positive. Like I said, because it's never gonna work cussing a girl out. Oh, fuck you, bitch, and I'm glad you gone. I don't need you anyway. That never works. Like, you know, like that's not gonna work. Being in your feelings and being mad. You better off like going a good angle. Like I would rather you try to kiss her ass and say nice things for you to go off on her. You know, because all that's going to do is push her away. And we know that women is petty and spiteful. Now, I'm telling y'all, young dudes now. So it's a big chance that you know, you can drive her to cheat or to do something petty because you being petty with her. So that's the number one thing that you don't want to do is just blow up her phone. And then I know why you do it. You're doing it to try to prevent her from cheating. You think, oh, if I blow up her phone or check on her, I'm gonna mess stuff up. Or you think that she gonna just have pity for you. Like, you know, you think that you're gonna blow up her phone a bunch of times and cuss her out and do all of this crazy stuff. And she gonna be like, oh, let's get back together. Like, you know, like that's unrealistic. Like, it's not gonna happen. Your best bet, like I said, is to just, you know, have a take it or leave it attitude. Just let her come back to you, give it space because it's gonna happen anyway. And you can't prevent a woman from cheating. Y'all done seen a bunch of videos. I didn't even been in this situation before to where a girl, you know, like you will call a girl and she'll still answer, but the dude is right there. Like, you know, it is what it is. We know that that goes on because we know this dude, you know, us being men, you know, we don't care for the most part. We don't care about her having a boyfriend, or 9 times out of 10, she gonna say that it's an ex anyway. You know, oh, she gonna paint you as the crazy ex, even though she might still be talking to you or y'all did just break up. She's still, you know, gonna spin it like you the one blowing her up and she told you that we done and all of that. And then, you know, the guy not gonna care. You know, the dude still gonna, you know, the dude still gonna sleep with her. He's still gonna get the ass. Like, you know, that's not gonna stop a man, you blowing up her phone and all of that. That's not gonna stop him from talking and sleeping with your girl because she done already made her mind up that she's moving on and she's done. And you know the dude don't hold no alliance or no allegiance to you. So, you know, like you really not gonna stop nothing. If a girl wanna cheat, she gonna cheat. You not gonna catch her in the act. You might catch her later on if you go through her phone or something happened and slip out or something. But in the act, you're not gonna be able to catch her cheating because if she is fucking or doing so, she's not gonna answer. So she's just gonna ignore you. And then if she do get to a point to where she do answer, but she's not really gonna do nothing, the dude could be right there. And then you can't be on the phone with her and chase her all of the time. So you know it's gonna happen to where, you know, a time when you're not texting her, she's gonna find time to cheat and to see another dude. And like my mom told me, which is true, is that you want a girl to cheat. You want her to, you want to see who she is. You don't want to prevent her from cheating. And that's something that another mistake that young dudes make is that we try to control the girl. Oh, I don't want you to go out with your friends. I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to go here. You know, like really try to control her to stop her from talking to dudes and cheating, but it's not gonna work because you can only do that for so long. You know, like she's gonna eventually get out. She's gonna eventually have to go out and do stuff. And then if she don't, of course, that's gonna cause a problem in the relationship. She's gonna call you controlling. She gonna say that you never let her go out. And then her friends gonna start to notice that. Parents gonna start to notice that. Like, you know, it's still gonna turn out looking bad for you. And you want to know sooner than later what type of female she is. Because if she gonna cheat, it's gonna eventually happen. You can't, you think for 30 years you gonna keep her on the leash and prevent her from doing some shit that she already want to do? Like, you got to be realistic. So it's better off to just Of course, it do have to be boundaries. Now, I'm not saying just let your girl have a male best friend and go out to 3 in the morning and just do whatever. No, it do got to be structured, but you can't control her. You have to let her go out with her friends, go out with her sisters, cousins, whatever. You gotta let her do stuff, and you see how she act. She gotta go to work. Like it's gonna be instant where she gonna have to run into dudes, and you really gotta just see what it is for yourself. Like you can't, you're not gonna be able to control. You're not gonna be able to stop her from doing what she want to do, and you better off just letting it happen, and so you see what it is. And then, like I said, a big reason too that young dudes got to understand is that why young girls date older men. Why this is a big thing is because older men, of course, is more mature, and women like mature because of that very reason, because they know that young dudes is crazy, blowing up their phone, don't know how to handle them, don't know how to let go. Like, older dudes, we done been through that before. So we know how the game go. We know not to blow up a female phone, most of us. We know not to do the most and threat. We more mature and we know what to do in certain situations and how women is. So that's why women prefer to date older dudes because they know that older dudes is not gonna be like as crazy and as controlling as younger dudes, even though of course there is a lot of older dudes who is controlling, of course. Because they know how females is also. But if they smart, they should know, like if you know females, like you should know you're not gonna control it. Like you can try to prevent it, but you should already know what time it is. And then you should been through heartbreak. You should know the game, basically. For the most part. And that's the reason why, most time younger women don't like dating y'all younger dudes. Of course, financial, that's a big reason also because 9 times out of 10, younger dudes not there financially and they don't got their money together and older dudes do. And we know that women is hypergamous and care about, having stuff together and material things. We know that about women. So that's of course a big reason also, but another reason is because of the maturity and knowing how to handle women and how they are and knowing their ways and stuff like that. So young dudes, y'all gotta keep that in mind. And that's my number one advice that I see that the number one mistakes or the number top 3 mistakes that I see younger dudes y'all make is that y'all don't know how to react during a breakup. That's why most of the videos on YouTube is about how to get over a breakup, how to get an ex back. Like that's why that is the biggest topic when it comes to relationship is because young dudes and sometimes women also like just don't know how to handle breakups because it's new and you thought that this girl was gonna be the one. And that's getting into my last point. The last mistake that young dudes make is that young dudes y'all have one-nighters to where y'all meet a girl, y'all like a girl, y'all think that she's, the one. You think y'all gonna get married. Y'all think that like this girl is all of that. And then y'all focus in on her to where y'all might stop working, stop hanging with friends, stop talking to other women, even though y'all not even together yet or exclusive. Like you just dating this girl, but you like her so much that you stop talking to other women. Like y'all just focus on one woman and think that there's only one woman in the world. And I know that that's how it is when you younger, that you feel like, okay, I'm never gonna get this again. But trust me, there is gonna be other women. There's other fish in the sea. Like, as you get older, you gonna look back and be like, dang, why was I tripping? Like, it wasn't even that big of a deal. I done met someone better. That's how I look at it sometimes. Like, as I done been through women and been through different relationships, with my first ex, I didn't, I thought that she was the one, but I realized that no, there's, I did dated better girls who was more attractive. The sex was better. The chemistry was better. That was just all around better. But I thought that she was the one at the time. So that's what you got to remember too, is that it's rare. Like I said, I don't even know the percentage, but we know that it's low of the people who high school sweethearts, the people who stayed with the same person their entire life. They never broke up. They never cheated because a lot of people who've been together for 30, 40 years and stuff like that, they, have breakups or they, even if it was in the beginning, they split up or somebody then cheated and they just stayed together or got back together and worked through it. It's rare that somebody that been together for 30, 40 years and they never broke up. Nobody ever cheated. Like that's so, that might be like literally 1%. Like literally, that's how rare it is. Like this is human emotions and nature thing. Most of the time the relationship don't work out. So, like you got to keep that in mind that this is just life, and you young and you got to experience different people and like this is something that happens to everybody. Don't never crash out. Young dude, like don't never kill yourself or kill her, kill the dude that you find her cheating with, because if you kill her, you want like and you in prison for life when you could have just got another girl. Like that's your life throwing away. And she's gone when you could have just got another girl. And then even worse, if you kill the dude that she's cheating with, now you in prison for life, he dead, and then she's moving on with another dude. Like, never crash out or go that far. And then, like I said, if you want to be optimistic, you can always hold out hope that y'all might get back together later. So why crash out? Maybe this is just a break and y'all just needed that time to, figure yourself out. But like if you do something dumb, that there's no reconciliation, like y'all will never be back together. So don't make a permanent decision for something that might be temporary. That's what I would tell y'all. Now getting into the women, the mistakes that I see women make that I didn't observe, from dating women and talking to women and stuff, is that women make the mistake of having a grass is greener mentality. All women have this mentality of the grass being greener, especially when they're younger. So, yeah, women, y'all have the grass is greener mentality on steroids when y'all young. Like literally on steroids. Like every female thinks that there's always a better dude out there. There's always a better looking guy. There's always a dude with more money because y'all got so many options. So I kind of can't blame y'all, but y'all got to realize this is the biggest thing that women don't realize, especially when they're young, but even when they're older, is that as a woman, you got to realize the difference between a guy that wants you like for a relationship or marriage and really like, really likes or love you versus a dude that just trying to sleep with you. It really be hard for women, especially young women, to tell the difference between the guy who wants to sleep with them and the guy that wants to be with them. Because women confuse all attention for good attention. Women think that, oh, I got all of these dudes in my inbox and all these dudes trying to talk to me. So fuck my boyfriend or I can get another dude. Like, like that's why women, y'all lead a relationship majority of the time. And that's a big reason why. It's because y'all know that there's so many other guys trying to talk to y'all that y'all got so many options. So y'all don't never value what y'all have. And that bit a lot of women in the ass when they got older. That's why there's a lot of women 40, 50, never been married, but got 100, 100 bodies. Like, a lot of women that slept with a lot of dudes and never been married. And then a lot of women got 2, 3, 4 kids from different men and they not there. Like, like you start to see the effects that you got older of just going to this guy, sleeping with this guy, doing like, like just having the grass is greener mentality and realizing that you should have stayed with what you had, or there ain't, like it ain't what you make it out to be. So that's, that's one of the number one things I realized about younger women is that, they just like, there's always another dude. Like they don't care, like at all. And then also, I understand when you're young, because when you're young, it's a balance between having fun and dating versus settling down. And that's why women have it hard, because you have your best chance to settle down and your best options when you're young. But then it's just like, okay, do I want to not have, because of course when you old, you can't party and have fun and all of that stuff. I mean, you still can, but it ain't the same. Like, you can't be 40, 50 acting like you 20, just, having a good time like that. So that's a problem also. So of course you want to do it, you want to have your fun when you're young, but then you got to realize too is that when you're young, you got your best shot of getting married and finding your ideal man per se. Like women just think that they can put it on the back burner. Like, oh, I'm gonna get married when I'm 30. I'm gonna have kids when I'm 30. Like, I'm just gonna push all of that back. And it don't happen like that because it's not guaranteed. And then you passing up your best options and a lot of good dudes along the way. There's no guarantee that good dudes and these dudes gonna be there when you're 30. And then you gotta think you're not in your prime no more, because all this stuff men say, getting into the red pill and the date stuff about women hitting the wall and women, as you getting older, you know, like your value decreasing. It is true to a certain degree, whether women want to admit it or not. Yes, there is still a lot of women who older and attractive and that can still get men, but you would never be what you is in your early 20s. Every woman know that. Unless you were just like overweight and just fucked up and you know this like ugly and hit in your early 20s and then in your 30s you got in shape and you know transformed yourself, then yeah, of course. In that scenario, but majority of the time, all things being equal, you look your best, and we know that beauty is women' number one currency. It just is what it is. That's what y'all got going for y'all more so than anything, and that's the best when you young. So it's a balance for women. Like y'all got to really balance between trying to have fun and date and do all of that stuff versus trying to find your husband and not waiting too late. It's a fine line between the two, but then you gotta decide what's more important to you. What's more important, being married and having a family or having fun? That's the choice that every young woman is gonna have to make. Like, what do I care about more? Growing old, having a husband, and having my kids grow up, or is it more important to date around, go to parties, and have all of these experiences? Not saying that you can't get both, because like I always say, is that you know, maybe when you 18, 19, or 20, or maybe even 21, 22, you had your fun. And then 23, 24, 25, like you still young, you can still get somebody. Then you get married and find the one. Or maybe you talking to somebody during that time, but y'all not all the way serious. And then y'all, you know, be together for a couple years, then get married. You know, it's time to do it. Like you could have a couple years maybe of having fun, but then you know, get into a relationship and then, you know, get locked down, you know, before you reach, you know, old age 30, 35 or something like that. So yeah, the grass is greener on the other side. That's the one thing that I notice about young women. And the number one young women problem is that y'all just on to the next, you know, just dismissing guys, friends on the guys. Like y'all just, I mean, I get it because y'all got so many options, it's really hard, but y'all got to you know, you got to make the right choice and the right option, which lead me to the second mistake that women make. And that's, of course, having kids. You know, having kids too young, having two, three kids, having multiple baby daddies. We know that a lot of young women is doing that. And that's something that y'all know. A lot of women can attest to this and admit to this that end up ruining a lot of women's life. Because when you have a kid, of course, we know having a kid with the wrong person, we know all of the drama that that's going to bring financially and stress-wise. That's gonna slow down your youth or you partying and doing stuff because you gotta watch your kid. You might not have babysitters like that. Then, like I said, you don't know how much the father gonna be involved in this life, you know, especially if it's somebody who's not serious, somebody who you wasn't marrying, somebody you were just sleeping with, and you know that he don't have his stuff together. You know, that's why it's really important about who you date also, because he don't have to be rich or nothing like that, or but you know, like you should know this man character. Like you should be dating him and know, like, even if we don't work out, because I know that people change during pregnancy and people grow, but you should know this man character that he gonna take care of his kids, that he big on being a father, and then you gotta know that he has a job or something. Like it can't be no bum, no jailbird, no dude who in and out of jail, a dude that you know couldn't keep a job the whole time that y'all was together. You know, like you can't make that decision. You can't be sleeping with a dude and getting pregnant and having kids with a dude just because you think he look good. That's a big mistake that a lot of younger women make, is having kids too young and before they ready. Like, you know, like you should really get to know the dude, be on birth control, try to use condoms, whatever you can do, like, you know, to try to avoid having a kid. Because I'm not saying have a kid old 30, 35, but you want to at least be in your 20s, like having a kid 15, 16, 18, having two kids by 25, you know, three kids by 28, you know, like just, you know, like doing too much. Like, you know that that's going to ruin and hinder your life, especially if you're not getting married and doing it with the, you know, right person that you're gonna be with. Like all that's gonna do is make it hard. And then women need to, of course, we know a lot of women then got bit by having the mentality, oh, I can raise a kid by my own and I don't need them and all of that. That's not the way to go, because it's gonna be stressful. Or every woman that didn't say that they didn't did it, but they didn't have moments of being stressed. You know, doing everything by yourself is hard. So that's what I would tell, you know, younger women, is that slow down on you know, having kids and sleeping around and doing all of that type of stuff, because it leads to you having the kid, which end up making your life harder. So, you know, that's a big thing that y'all really got to, that young women make a big mistake on. Is just having kids too young and then to keep on having multiple kids and just, you know, just having fun, having too much fun, liking sex too much, just not thinking and being mature, really. What else am I missing? Oh, I forgot that another mistake that young dudes end up making too, getting back to the young dudes also, is that we end up being, well, I guess that's kind of getting back to what I was already saying about being like young dudes, like being petty and just doing stuff that you know you shouldn't do, like blasting on social media, posting her pictures online. You know, just like just doing real stuff, like you really in your feelings and you really mad. Like, you know, like doing like, you know, childish, immature stuff that just makes stuff worse, that end up backfiring, you know, putting your hands on the female, of course. Like, you know, that stuff don't never work. All you doing is making stuff worse. I mean, worse. Like, you know, it just, all it's doing is turn into a toxic relationship that's going to eventually end, and it's going to eventually end bad with somebody getting hurt, possibly in jail and stuff. So, you know, like young dudes really just need to chill on that craziness and try to be mature. I know that it's hard, but that's, like I said, you got to realize is that if you want to get her back, because I know that the #1 videos on YouTube, like I said, is how to get an ex back. Um, you know, how to handle a breakup and stuff. That's what young men struggle with the most and have the most problem with. And I'm telling you what to do. It's hard, but I'm telling you, acting crazy and doing all of that stuff, it's not going to help at all. All it's going to do is push her further away. And then you're going to end up regretting it later on and looking back like, why did I even do that? Like, it wasn't even worth it. She wasn't even that important. But I know, like I said, some people, my reason for making this video is that some people can learn from other people's mistakes or can hear something or learn something from somebody and apply. I know most people have to go through trial and error. Most people just got to take their L and you know, go through life experiences for them to end up changing. You know, like most people just gotta, you know, learn for themselves, go through their experiences. You know, most people have to go to jail to realize, you know, that doing crimes is wrong. You know, most people have to go through it, which I understand. But for the few people who can learn from other people's mistakes or who wants to learn, and you know, maybe when this is happening, when you're going through a breakup, or for a girl when you ready to leave your dude, a good dude, for another dude, or you just bored or whatever, maybe this will pop in your head and, you know, make you do the right thing or help you out. Also, lastly, because the thing that's mutual for both, that both young people both end up making mistakes, young men and women, is that not realizing when a relationship needs to end. And it's both men and women, is that women we know leave the relationship sooner. We know that women be the ones who do initiate breakups, and sometimes women not always wrong, because sometimes the relationship is toxic and somebody does need to leave. And men, we don't never want to leave. We think it's our duty. We try to hold on too long, and then the woman ends up having to be the smart one to leave and realize that this is too toxic. This never gonna work. You know, all the time when women leave the relationship, they not always the bad person. Sometimes they should have left the relationship. And men, we need to do better in being a man and getting out our feelings and realizing when the relationship needs to end, and being the one who ends it first instead of waiting until the woman ends the relationship. And then we hurt. Like, you know, we got to be maturing the men and realizing, okay, this ain't working out. We need a break, or we need to split up. We need time apart. And also, another thing about women that I just thought of, that women, y'all like to play games and lead men, and string men along. Young women, y'all real good at stringing men along. Y'all know that y'all, like, whether it's an ex or a new dude, or, you know, a dude that y'all know like y'all, so y'all use them for attention or whatever. Like, you know, young women, y'all do mess up by doing that, because you know, you end up hurting somebody in the end, and then people is crazy. Like, it ends up not being worth it, because with an ex, it's like Cause men have to understand, cause women sometimes do voice, like a woman will tell her ex, like, okay, we just friends. It's not that we not together. And the dude would say, okay, I'm cool with being friends, but he knows that he still wants to be with her. So he thinks that, okay, if I'm her friend, she gonna change her mind, and then he gets mad when she doesn't change her mind. And women also got to know that, because sometimes y'all do be like, okay, I don't want it to be bad. I do still want to be cool. But like I tell women is that if you know the dude still likes you, y'all can't be friends. Y'all going to at least have to break up for a while, have a little gap, maybe a couple months so all of the feelings can kind of fade and he get the point. Like you can't break up with a dude today or a couple days later talk about being friends. He's not going to be ready for that. And as a man, you got to know that too. Is that if it's not gonna work, you got to take the woman for what she said. Like you can't say, "Oh, okay, I'm being friends," and then get mad when she talking to somebody else because she's gonna hit you with, "I told you we not together," and then you're gonna be heartbroken. So like women, you just gotta do the right thing and let him go if you know he still likes you. It's gonna take some time. Maybe later on y'all could chop it up and be cool, but most of the time it don't work being cool with your exes. It just don't work, because it's still feelings there. Y'all still, and then if you move on to a new person, of course they don't want you talking to your ex. So you got to keep that in mind. Um, and then, just guys, period, using guys or stringing guys along that y'all know that like y'all. Like, and the big thing with younger women and women have to understand is that most dudes not trying to be your friend. That's the number one thing. Like, I hate that women try to act like they don't understand. Especially if you attractive, ain't no man just trying to be your friend. Like, ain't no point in stringing them along. He want to fuck you. He want to talk to you. So why are you stringing him along knowing that he likes you? Like, don't even get his hopes up. I get y'all be trying to be nice, but I'm sorry to say for women, and this is what I would tell my daughters the truth, you can't be nice to dudes. Like, because if you giving them an inch, they going to try to take a mile. If a dude sees that there's a chance or you got interest in him, he's going to try to carry you on with that. It's a very small amount of dudes who can be mature about the situation and that can be a woman's friend. It's very few dudes that's like that. So women take that, and young women take that in mind also. So that's my advice for the young men and the young women. Some of the things that I noticed that can help in a relationship, some of the things that I noticed that we do when we young that hurts the relationship, that makes it worse. Childish, immature things that I see that both men and women do. Quick recap, like I said, men, stop acting crazy during a breakup or during an argument or when you feel like slipping away. I know it's hard. Say what you got to say, but don't keep on egging it. Try not to be, mad and violent and going off of her and do it, because all you gonna do is drive her further away and make things worse. It's, like that's all you gonna do. And then we know women is petty. You gonna drive her into another dude's arm. And then you blowing her up, not gonna stop her from doing what she want to do. I thought that it would too, but if she want to cheat or see a dude, she's gonna do it. If she's doing something, she's just not gonna answer. And then when she do answer, she's done doing it. And she gonna tell you a lie. Oh, I was with my sister. Oh, I was asleep. You will never know. And then too, like I said, if she's not doing nothing, if she with the dude could be right there listening on the phone or hiding, whatever. So you're not gonna stop her from doing what she want to do. You're not gonna stop her from moving on. Your best bet, like I said, is to be mature. If you want to get her back, that's your best course of action. Is to be mature into like just, try to just, wait it out, tell her how you feel. If you is do say something nice, don't go full send, because don't go either to the extreme or both. Don't go to crying and, oh, I'm gonna kill myself, but then don't go to the extreme of, oh, I'm gonna kill you and I hate you. Like, like be in the middle and just let stuff go. And, you got a better chance to let her come back to you. And then for women, like I said, you start valuing what you have. If you got you a good dude and he's progressing and he's trying to do things, realize this, that there's not a lot of good dudes out there. There's more bad men than there is good men. So don't just discard, this good men that have the grass is greener mentality with every man, and realize this, that most men just want to sleep with you. you know, most men not trying to be in a relationship. They will tell you that they want to be in a relationship, but really they're not for real. They just trying to sleep with you. So value somebody that really like there for you and really, you know, likes you and trying to do the best that they can. And then also stop stringing dudes along. You know, knowing that you stringing them along, using them or whatever, because that hurts. You know, whether you hurt him or you can have him act crazy and cause him to crash out. Because a lot of times too, a dude will crash out because not just because you just broke up with him, but because you was playing games with him, playing games with his feelings. You know, men do have feelings also. So you got to keep that in mind. And that's all I got to say. I'm out.